What's up, collectors and Transformers enthusiasts? Today we're going to do another top 10 video. This is for Transformers WFC Cybertron, the entire trilogy. This includes Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so before we get into it, let's go ahead and get a couple things straight. This is my personal top 10, so it can be completely different on your personal case or, you know, on your friend or something like that. Like, it can be completely different. This is the figures that I just cannot get out of my hands. Like, I just keep playing with it, keep doing B-rolls, keep doing photo shoots. Like, as soon as I get those figures out of the box, I just don't want to get them out of my hands because they're that good. And another thing, this is not an order. You can go ahead and swipe a couple things. The top 5 is the actual top 5, but, you know, below the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, you can go ahead and swap those up. I honestly don't care. But the actual top 5 is the actual top 5. It's set and ready to go. You're going to also see a couple clips, a couple B-rolls that I've done with these figures, so you guys see and know, you know, why I have selected them in terms of the criteria to make this top 10. So without further ado, let's get into it. For number 10, I got none other than Optimus Prime. This guy is amazing. I remember talking too much judo about this guy, and as soon as I got him, I got to eat every single one of them words because this guy is solid. The amount of items that this guy brings, the cannon, the blast effect, everything is worth it. The accuracy is amazing. The posability is awesome. And since I got this guy, I just done clip after clip after clip. I just cannot stop using this guy because the amount of things that you can do is amazing. And as you can see on screen, you can go ahead and just display it with every single Autobot and it looks fantastic. You can go ahead and put it next to Hot Rod and kind of simulate that he is turning into Optimus Prime and it looks fantastic. Moving on, for number 9, we got none other than Soundwave himself, the man. This is my favorite character of all time, but sadly I had to put this figure really low on the list because it's just the figures on top, man, they're just pretty much flawless. They got no flaws whatsoever. And this guy, he has a couple flaws, man. Articulation, this guy is amazing. You can go ahead and put pretty much every single post out there. In terms of accuracy, is accurate as well, but there's a couple things that it just, I don't know, man, it looks kind of weird when you compare with other Autobots and other Decepticons. It's just, I don't know if it is due to transformation, but he looks so boxy, and I know he's supposed to look that boxy, but not that boxy. I don't know if you understand, but when you go ahead and compare it next to the other Autobots and Decepticons, they look accurate to the particular representations, and they also look boxy. Like Optimus Prime, he's supposed to look, you know, boxy in some areas, but at the same time, he looks sleeker, he looks good. He just, I don't know, he looks so amazing and accurate. Then I kind of want that for Soundwave, and when I see him, there's a couple things that can be upgraded to put this guy a little bit more accurate, and I got no doubts whatsoever that this boxiness that he has is due to transformation. But that being said, regardless, since I got him, I haven't stopped using it, and man, it's Soundwave. I have to use it. He's pretty much my brand, and I put some clips with Ironhide and him fighting, as well as Ratchet. I've done a clip with him and Optimus fighting, and you can see Laserbeam, you know, taking Optimus Prime's weapon and stuff like that. Like, you can go ahead and recreate some awesome scenes with this guy. But anyway, moving on to number 8, we have none other than Ironhide. It is kind of funny because I'm putting my 2 favorite characters on the bottom. We got my favorite Decepticon on the bottom, and we got my favorite Autobot now on the bottom. And again, the top 5 is pretty much flawless. No, you know, cons whatsoever. They're pretty much perfect figures. And this guy, when you go ahead and transform it into the actual vehicle mode, the feet thing is just, I don't know, man, I just can't get over it. The feet look weird, out of place, and it's just not accurate to the G1 representation. In terms of mobility, I haven't stopped using this guy as well. Like, you can go ahead and put some awesome poses and, you know, put some awesome fight scenes with the Decepticons and, you know, display next to the Autobots and all that, and it looks accurate to the G1 representation, and the raw one looks fantastic. But when you go ahead and transform it, just, I don't know, man, those feet, they're just not it. Now for number 7, it was a bit difficult because number 7 and number 6 are really close, and I just didn't know what figure to put at number 7 and what figure to put at number 6. You can go ahead and swap them if you want, but number 7 for now, until I change my mind, is Sideswipe. So Sideswipe, man, is another figure that I've not stopped using it. I've done so many b-rolls on TikTok with this guy, so many pictures on Instagram. Like, I haven't stopped using it. The amount of things that you can do, the mobility is fantastic, the accuracy is on point. The things you can do with this guy, man, you'd be surprised. Like, he's a really fantastic figure. The weapons that he brings are accurate as well, and not to mention really useful in terms of possibility and all that. So this guy is just solid. The only con that I have with him is the spoiler. I just don't appreciate that I have to go out of my way to go ahead and find an aftermarket spoiler to put this guy as accurate as possible. I never liked that, and that is why I decided to put this guy 7 and not 6. Now, who is going to be number 6? Number 6, I recently got him, and it kind of pains me not to put him on the top 5. But again, the top 5 is just full of flawless figures. And this guy, in terms of mobility, there are a couple things that you cannot do, sadly. The lengths or kind of hinder in terms of the splits and moving forward and backwards. But other than that, man, it looks fantastic. And I'm talking none other than Nemesis Prime. This figure is amazing. I have not stopped using it, and I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but just I'm putting an emphasis on usability in this video. Like, if you don't want to buy a figure and keep it on the box, or just take it out of the box and put it on display, you want to keep using it, posting it, playing with it. That's the fun of toys, and this guy is really fun to have. Like, the amount of items that he brings, the shield, the double sword, the blaster, everything that this guy is rocking with is fantastic. And you can go ahead and display next to Optimus, and the clips that you can get out of it is fantastic. You can see right here Optimus next to Nemesis Prime, and you know, fighting and all that, as well as you know, with some other Decepticons and Autobots, and it's an amazing figure. Believe me, you should have this guy on your collection. It's a must-have for sure. Now, who's going to be the first flawless figure? Because I have thought so much about the flawless of this top 5 that had no con whatsoever. Who is going to be the first one? Well, the first one is Shockwave. This guy is as close to perfection as you're ever gonna get, man. The accuracy is on point, the mobility is on point, the usability as well is also on point. It's just every single detail that this guy has is so amazing. And not to mention the paint distribution. For being a full-on purple figure with some, you know, bits and pieces of gray plastic, it looks sublime, man. Like, Decepticon logo looks amazing on the positions that they're in, and the items that he brings to, you know, form that massive thing. I don't use it. I use it to form a glider, and I, you know, did the whole thing on TikTok. You know, Shockwave Galvatron or Galvatron Shockwave. You can do some awesome things with this guy, and again, since I got him, I haven't stopped using it, and for sure, this is one of the best of the entire Siege line. Now, this one, number 4, I think it's gonna be a little controversial. Some people like it, some people don't, but I love the figure. Like, the mobility that it has is just amazing, and I'm talking none other than Prowl. This guy, man, it's just fantastic, man. Perfection at its finest, and this kind of applies to every repaint that he has. And the whole Dyson Brothers Blue Streak and Small Screen also look amazing, and they have exactly what Prowl has, is the mobility, man. The amount of things that you can do, man, the legs, the arms, the chest, the face. You can go pretty much do a 360-degree angle on every single board joint that this guy has. The wings are articulate as well. The vehicle mode is as accurate as it's ever gonna get to the G1 representation, as well as the robot mode and usability. This guy, you, as soon as you get him, believe me, you're not gonna go ahead and drop it out of your hands, because it is that good. Now, in terms of why people don't like it, he has like a couple gaps, you know, on the back, but I don't see that as con. That's completely normal. All the figures have gap, and this is just one of them. Now, sadly for Prowl, I lost a couple of clips. That's why you see some limited clips on Prowl's behalf, and it's because I just lost them, and I just cannot do any other clips at the moment. I'm currently doing college and all that, but that's the precise point. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. For number 3, we have none other than the best Siege figure, and this is just, it's factual, man. You cannot fight me on this case, because you don't get any better than this. It's a triple changer. The accuracy is amazing, and the mobility is fantastic as well. You can do pretty much anything with it, and it looks fantastic next to their teammates. I'm talking none other than Springer. You can go ahead and do so many things with this. The swords, the blaster, the triple changing gimmick that he has. You can go ahead and have the helicopter, the car mode. You can display it with Hot Rod and the rest of the teammates. You can go ahead and do so many things with it, and I have done so many clips with him fighting Cyclonus and all that, and with Willie, and it just scales so good and so accurate to the G1 representation next to the rest of the Autobots, man. This guy is flawless. Now moving on to number 2. For number 2, we got a figure that I had no idea it was gonna be one of my favorite figures of the entire line. I'm talking none other than Galvatron. This guy is so solid. The plastic, when you feel the figure itself, it feels so high quality. Like, it honestly even is a little heavy, and the sculpted in detail, the paint distribution, the mobility, the accuracy, the things that you can do with Hot Rod and, you know, Optimus Prime next to this guy, put them fighting and all that. You can do so many B-rolls, so many photos, and once you go ahead and get it out of the box, believe me, you're not gonna go ahead and put it back or put it on the shelf. You're gonna go ahead and keep playing with it and keep playing with it and not stop. Now, last but not least, we got number 1, and number 1, you have to know who is number 1, man. This is a given. This guy is the best for Cybertron figure, no doubt about it. We're talking about Optimus Prime himself, the leader of the Autobots. The usability, the mobility, the accuracy, sculpted in detail, the paint distribution, everything is on point, 100% perfect. This guy is flawless. The amount of things that you can do, the photos, the B-rolls, the videos, anything, man, anything that you go ahead and do with Optimus is gonna be a banger, because this is just an incredible figure. You can do pretty much whatever you want with this guy. It is so good that a friend of mine came to my room and, you know, picked up the actual figure and asked me if this was part of the WFC Cybertron line, and I said yes, and he didn't even believe me. He's not a Transformers fan, but, you know, when he felt the actual figure on his hand and, you know, play with it on a couple minutes, you know, using all that, posing and stuff like that, he was so in love with the actual figure that he went and hunt him down and got one for himself. That's how good this guy is. But with that being said, that brings us to the end of the video. Again, this is my personal top 10, man. You can have a different top 10 or a different opinion of what I said of every single figure, and, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Every single one of us collectors have a different opinion on the figures that we like. But go ahead and leave on the comment section if you agree with my top 10 list or not. But that is pretty much the entire thing. I hope you enjoy it. If you did, please leave a like. It really helps you to algorithm and how some of my videos get out there in a while. So if you get anything, any value anime content, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. But this is pretty much it for my personal top 10 list of Transformers WFC Cybertron trilogy.